Agnes, welcome back to the channel. So I'm a little late on it because it's like 2 weeks into December, but I have the November recommendations for so the month of thanks has come to an end, and it's my first Thanksgiving in my apartment, or it was, and it's great. So I'm thankful, and Christmas is now here, so yeah, Christmas videos now. The Yes section, The Legend of Vox Machina, Season 3. I adore this show. I love it to pieces. The characters, the vibes, the art style, the plot, the world building, the visuals, the fantasy. I love all of it. It's just a beautiful story. I love it so much. Amazing use of storytelling. I hope we get more. I always hope I get more. Brothers, basically like a reboot of Twins, though it's actually not, but that's the vibe I'm getting, because Twins is an amazing movie. If you've never seen it, you should watch it, but this is kind of giving me the same vibe. Challengers, the vibes are great, but I watched for Zendaya. Enough said, it's my favorite part of the movie, and her outfits were eating. My Lady Jane, show's good, but I have to discuss something, because I find this, yes, I feel like there's enough creativity in the world, or hopefully you have enough creativity in the world, that you don't need to use real life historical figures. I feel like that's kind of crossing a line. I like everything about the show, the vibes and the story. I like the fantasy of it. That's the thing. This is a historical drama. Why is there fantasy in here? But there is. It's a magical retelling of characters that did not need to be made into real people. This is the Zodiac speaking. Documentary based on the dude's mom that like dated the Zodiac killer, supposedly. The Umbrella Academy Season 4. Love the show, but this is my least favorite season out of all the ones we've previously saw, and I believe this is the final season. In my opinion, I think season 1 will never be topped. Season 1 was amazing. And we have Thanksgiving. So on Black Friday, there's a Black Friday sale, which it would never happen like this, but you know. So it's just like really busy and chaotic, and a bunch of people got murdered, like very gruesomely. So this guy decides to kill people on Thanksgiving because his wife got killed in a Black Friday squabble, which would never happen now because the deals are awful and no one does that. You can do it from home. But anyway, thought it was a pretty gruesome story, and I thought it was really funny take on like a holiday. I love holiday themed horror. I think it's so funny. So yeah, Uglies, based on a book series that I have not read. It's about a dystopian society where everyone turns into Snapchat filters. Like, that's pretty much the story. With Tad Hamilton, such a cute little movie about wanting to date your favorite celebrity crush, and then it actually happening and actually wasn't terrible. Her Blue Sky, a little confusing, however cute message at the end. Love all the vibes in this. The Platform 2. I had no idea that there was a part 2, or that they had made a part 2. I don't even know when this came out. I loved the original Platform. I thought it was a really creative horror thriller type movie. But it was really cool. And then when I saw they made a part 2, I was like, oh my god, it's a continuation. Well, not exactly. It's like a whole nother thing. It's like a whole nother part, and it has like a weird like platform cult in it, and it takes place on a different story, and I thought it would just continue the one we previously saw, and it did not. So a little upset about that, but I'm quitting heroing. Now, I know what you're thinking. This might look like a basic isekai or fantasy or some shit. It started off that way. And I was like, okay, all right. It's about the hero. That's all you know about him. The hero wants to come in to the Demon Queen's army and just work there. And he wanted to be recruited into there. And you kind of don't know exactly why, but he wanted that. And he gets recruited into her army, and he's trying to make it better. He's trying to fix it. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, then the plot twist happens. And the more deep you go into the show goes into a whole different genre. You find out that this actually wasn't the fantasy world, and that this is just what the world has reverted to because they were so technologically advanced that they made him. And he is a project of science that learns from every person he fights. So he's like a superhuman hero made in a lab, and nothing can defeat him at all. So we went back in time because of all the times he saved humanity, basically, because the world keeps getting destroyed. So we're back in like fantasy medieval kind of times, and with the demons coming in from like their realm, he was like, oh, finally something. And then apparently the army isn't that great, so he was trying to make it strong so they could finally kill him because he wants to die. I don't know, it was just, I recommend it. I watch a lot of anime, and I watched a lot of fantasy anime, so I just thought this was a funny fantasy anime. And I was very humbly surprised. The further you go into it, the more deeper the story gets, and it actually was really nice. Liked it, loved it, really good. Pixels! I've always loved this movie. I know this movie gets hate. I don't know why. I love Adam Sandler movies. Yeah, they're a little cheesy. That's the vibe. That's what he loves. That's him. And I love it so much. It's so nostalgic. It's just a cute little movie. I highly recommend. Delete. So first of all, wild ass plot. So a phone deletes people, but like that's the show. But I feel like the show is a little stretched out. I feel like they could have put it down to 6 episodes instead of I think 8. And you never really found out where the fuck this phone came from. From the ashes. Man, I did not expect what the show is about. I literally just watched it because it looked like it was like a private school drama. I love like private school, like themed, like the setting is a private school. I love things like that. Well, so a teacher smoked a cigarette and she didn't want to get caught and she threw it. And you find out that she's the reason, and she calls like this entire school to catch on fire. And people were dying in it. It was just wild. I didn't expect that. Bad hair day. A girl tries every single beauty product she can find apparently in her hair. And then the show ends on a jewel heist, so that was pretty good. I like Disney original movies, always have, always will. My old ass, they didn't explain anything about this. They didn't explain how she's able to talk to her old self because she got high on shrooms. And they didn't really explain anything, but she gets to meet her older self. And she tries to fix her life, but I think it kind of ends up going kind of the same way. I don't know, I liked it a lot. Back to Black, a biopic of Amy Winehouse. I think the actor did a really amazing job. I really enjoyed it. I know the actor was getting a lot of backlash about her way she talked, the way she looked, but I'm like, no, she literally does do a really good Amy Winehouse. I was never a huge fan of Amy Winehouse, but I do like about maybe 2 or 3 of her songs. Gale, amazing horror comedy, great characters, actor did great, amazing interpretation of a vampire. One thing I love about vampires, it's one of the only species that has like 1 million different powers, 1 million different variations. So every time I see a vampire, I'm always excited. I'm like, ooh, what's this variation? Because they're all different. And I liked how they played with that theme a lot, that vampires, they can be whatever anybody wants them to be. No other creature does this. You can play a little with werewolves, but I feel like vampires are really, you can play with them a lot. House of Spoils. A story about a chef going into a restaurant that's cursed. The land is cursed by a witch. And it makes her kind of go insane, but then I think it just makes her speak to the earth. I don't know. I thought it was really good. Now for the meh section, Kung Fu Panda 4. As far as the Kung Fu Panda series goes, this is the weakest movie by far. It feels like it isn't even part of it. And I understand why everyone was saying this movie didn't need to be made. It was definitely like just trying to make money, because the Kung Fu Panda series is my favorite, and this will be just like Shrek, where it ends at 3. I'm not gonna act like this is even a part of the genre. Miller's Girl. This whole movie made me uncomfortable. I watched Regina Ortega, and I don't like this movie. The Perfect Couple, about a rich family and all of their issues. I love watching rich people drama because I'm not rich. I know poor people drama because I'm poor, but rich people drama, that's another vibe. Man from U.N.C.L.E. People like this movie definitely because Henry Cavill's in it, because it was okay, but it wasn't oversetting, you know. But it wasn't all that. Black Friday, zombie apocalypse on Black Friday. Am I the only person that's never participated in Black Friday? I don't know, I never have. Look back, the animation, lovely. I loved it. Now the no section, a sacrifice. This movie, Anyway, Harold and the Purple Crayon. This, in all honesty, is perfect example of Hollywood being stupid as shit. So, you could put money into something people actually want and make a faithful adaptation, blah, 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 whatever. This is a children's book. A children's book with, I think, 12 pages in it. this is not enough for a movie. Maybe a mini like TV show on like a kids network maybe, but not for a full movie. Yeah.
Hadouken! Finish him!